According to the IRS, the #1 crime in America today is identity theft. True story. Do you know 3 people who have not had their identity stolen? Guess what? The statistics say that 1 in 4 Americans will fall victim to some form of identity theft. Now, go congratulate your 3 friends who got off easy. Am I telling you this just to make you paranoid? Kick the covers all night? Hardly. I bring good tidings, because you know me, you can beat the odds. If I fail you, I have a $5 million guarantee in place to put your life back together. Yes, it does feel a bit like a superpower, but I refuse to wear the tights. Seriously though, identity theft is no laughing matter. Let me protect you. Before it happens. cfrn.net/legal shield. You can thank me later. Your peace of mind is waiting at cfrm.net/legal shield.
Greetings, Dwayne, CFRN. I guess this is video number 6 in the series. I was only going to do 1 and it became 2, and before I knew it, it was 5, and now after the holiday weekend, I feel like doing number 6. I just got to tell you, the Concierge Trade Alerts have been giving us some incredible trades. Take a look at this S&P 500 E-mini futures trade up on the screen. Last night when we sent the email out, I'm going to just show you the email because there's always somebody in the crowd that says, well, how do I know that he really sent that email out? Well, I guess just because I show it to you doesn't prove anything, but you could ask your neighbor. I don't know. Anyway, this is the email that went out last night. And I said something looks a little odd about the data, but hey, it is what it is, and so I put it out there. Okay? So you can stop the video right now and you can write the numbers down, or you can do a screen grab, or however you do it. And here's what happened. We said consider buying 23.29 on the S&P 500 E-mini futures if you get the chance. Well, this is the Globex Open last night, Sunday night, and we sent the alerts out at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Okay, and so that's going to be the reason I was late is because I did a Q&A session yesterday. If you haven't watched that video, you should probably check that out. So 8:30 is going to be this candle right here. Okay, so, and these are last week's zones. I can't publicly publish this week's zones until Thursday because the partners get them on Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. Eastern, so they're prepared for the week. Once we release the weekly trading zones, we don't massage them, manipulate them, change them in any way, shape, form, or fashion. They are carved in stone for the entire week. I did do something today that I don't normally do, and on crude, I went ahead and leaked a couple of the zones on the radio show. Now, if you want to go watch the radio show, I talk about each one of these trades in great detail, but I'm just going to try to get this done in under 15 minutes so that you can see that, 6 days running now, we've had stop outs. Absolutely. We've had trades that didn't do so hot, but we've also had, a whale of a good time. 17 S&P 500 E-mini futures points. Boom. Now, if you were using the CFRN indicator set, which you don't have to, but if you were, I'll show you a little something here. It's going to take it a minute to populate because I need to reboot my computer. Okay. See this little black line here, the step line? When the step line gets on the south side of the CFMA one, and it closes in a color that's contrary to See, if this red candle had closed below the step line, that would have said, get out of the trade. If this candle had closed below the step line, that would have said, get out of the trade. But you know what? Nothing ever said get out of the trade. So, the closing bell, that says get out of the trade. Because if you hold the trade open to 6 p.m. Eastern when the markets reopen, your margins jump from $500 to $5,000 per contract. Why not just exit and then, at 6 p.m. Eastern, if you still think this thing's got legs, you can get back in. But, let's face it. This thing has already run 17 points without much of a pullback. A pullback to the 38, the 50, the 62, or wherever the weekly trading zone is in here. And of course, CFR and partners know exactly where that zone is. Then I'm ready to see another leg. Okay? But not just yet. So, anytime you can take a couple points out of the S&P on any given day, that's a great day. 17 points, that's a really great day. On the Dow, we said in the email we sent out last night, if you get the chance, buy 2420. Now, when I measured it earlier today, it had run 109 points. But it's now actually gone all the way up to 581. So let's take 581 and subtract 420. Okay, that's 161 points. $161 times $5 per point. And 161 times $5 per point equals $805. So on the Dow, $805 per contract available. Now, we never get out at the exact swing high or the exact swing low. Why? Because we trail our stop. Or we trade to a hard target. Either way, you're going to always leave a little something on the table. No big deal, good karma, etc. Leave a little something for the next guy. Okay? Now, trading's risky. You can lose all of your money and then some. If you're going to use any of our indicators, any of our services, any of our products, any of our anythings, you need to go to cfrn.net. The bottom of the page, you'll see the hyperlinks. You must read the required CFTC disclosures and our own cfrn.net disclaimers. It just makes sense. We care about what happens to you. We don't want to see you blow your account up. We don't want to see you end up like 90% of traders out there. So that is why we're such sticklers about aggressive risk management. Okay? All right. Soybeans. Now, soybeans was really nothing to write home about today. But I'm going to show them to you anyway because it's part of the list. And whether it's good, bad, or ugly, we just tell you the truth. Okay? This thing dropped 2.5 points. You could have potentially gotten stopped out right there. I should have put that there. I really should have. The fact that you could have, I'm just gonna say you did. Then price dropped 2.5 points at $50 per point, just like the S&P. And then it dropped 4.5 points at $50 per point. Nice day from beans. Not a killer day or anything, but nice day. This is the Globex Open right here. We said to consider selling 9.56. Okay? Moving right along. Crude oil. Crude was really kind of a sleeper today. Now, see, I put in the zones from this week. These are this week's zones. 5270/75 and 53/5305. This was the Globex Open last night. Price went from zone to zone. Look how it consolidated. Each one of these candles is a half an hour. Back up to the zone. Consolidated at the zone. All those hours. Back down to the zone. And as we speak, it's inside of that zone. Okay? Now, when we sent out the alerts, we said to consider selling 52.80. First move down, $170 per contract available. Second, important prices, important areas, almost always tested. Price gets above the trigger, $130 per contract. Then we trigger on the long side for a whopping $110 per contract. And then we trigger one more time on the short side, $140 per contract available. So if you were just trying to get your goal for the day in crude, you had no problem getting it done. Okay? Let's go to bonds. Stop out, and then that was 6 earlier when I measured it. We were looking to sell 153.22 and we got down to 10. So actually we had 12 times 31.25 per tick. 12 times 31.25 per tick. These are bonds, 30-year Treasury bonds. Don't recommend them for beginners. If you're just getting started, trade something else. I mean, 31.25 per tick, that's exciting if you're on the right side of the trade. But it doesn't take too many ticks on the wrong side of the trade to put you down for the day. So, work with something else. Get yourself consistently profitable. Then go after the bonds. Or just leave them alone. They're dangerous. Okay. What else we got here? Got to talk about gold. This was the Globex Open. We said to consider selling $12.91. $240 per contract available. $350 per contract available. I didn't mark this one. $12.89.60. We'll call that what it is. $140 per contract available. Again, just because it's available does not mean you're going to get it all. It just means that's what the market made available. You get what you take, or based on how closely you trail when the market pulls back, it stops you out. Okay. Now, when I measured this earlier today, it had only dropped 300. But right at the end of the radio show, when I was doing this one, I said, guys, looks like we got a move coming here. And we sure do. From 1291, we dropped all the way down to 1283.1. So that's going to be $790 per contract available. Okay. Okay. I meant to mention when I had this over here. You see this? feeds.feedburner.com/CFRN. Would you do me a favor? Hit pause on the video right now. Open a new tab and type that in. Hit enter. When the page loads, click subscribe. What you're doing is you're subscribing to our podcast. It doesn't cost you anything. You'll never even know you've subscribed unless you go check your RSS feed in your podcatcher, in your iTunes podcast directory. However, we've made it into the What's Hot Top 100. In fact, I checked this afternoon after the radio show and we had hit number 14. We're trying to get into the top 10. You going here, it'll just take you a second. Just type that into an open browser window with an open tab. Hit enter. And then real big it'll say subscribe. And you know, if you don't have a podcatcher, you can simply subscribe as a bookmark. That'll do the trick. Now, you can also click on iTunes and do the full Monty, okay? That way you can actually leave a review if you enjoy the show. That's awesome. We really appreciate that, okay? All right. Let's keep moving here. We did goal. Got to do the NQ. Last night on the NQ, we said consider buying 53.62. This is where the Globex market opened. This is where we triggered. Now, when I measured it, we had ran 29 points at $20 per point. That was $580 per contract available. Now, what did we finally make it up to? $399 minus 362. 399 minus 362 times 20. $740 per contract is where we ended up. I mean, that's the most available. Everything seems to have ended on the high of the day, except gold. Nab it. $740 per contract available. Okay. Okay. All right. What's left? We did the NQ. We've already done crude. The only thing left's the Russell. Last night, this was the Globex Open. We said consider buying 1345. Now, some might say, well, wouldn't you have gotten stopped out here? No. On the Concierge Trade Alerts, if you're trading it as a Concierge Trade Alert, the maximum risk is $300. The maximum risk here, based on how I teach you, would be $250. But I've also developed a new way of using Concierge Trade Alerts, along with what we teach you every day in the live training room. So if you haven't taken the trial, you really should, take the trial. How do you take the trial? Since we're on that and we're done. Now this ran up 250. Important prices, important areas are almost always tested. Back below the trigger, ran up 450, pulled back, and by golly, that thing ended up running at the end of the day all the way up to 63. So 63 minus 45. 63 minus 45 times $50 per point. $900 per contract. That's what the market made available. Please don't think you're going to take $900 out of that trade, because you're not. You can certainly take a nice bite out of it, but you just won't get it all. Okay? All right. Now, I was going to show you real quick how you can take that trial if you haven't taken it. Now, I got to say, we do, if you haven't seen this, where'd it go? Trading shouldn't hurt. Get help today. There's 3 places here where you can get help. So how do you get to this page? By remembering all that? No. You type in emini.cfrn.net. You can remember that, right? Emini. That's what we do. CFRN. That's who we are. And on the net, that's where we live. Enter. And that takes you over to our Google Plus blog. And that's where you'll find that funny cartoon. It's also where you'll find this baseball dude. And right above the baseball dude, to go straight to the $1 for 5-day trial, click here. No automatic rollover. Now, you will find some other articles on our blog and on our website where you can sign up for the Concierge Trade Alerts. But those have automatic rollovers attached. So I don't want you to do that. I want you to use this one so that at the end of the 5 days, you don't automatically get rolled over into anything. What happens is you just stop getting the alerts. No more alerts. That's it. We cut you off. And then if you want to become a subscriber, you call us 949-42-EMINI, 949-42-EMINI, or email us support@cfrn.net. Now, when you sign up for the Concierge Trade Alert trial, I'm going to send you a couple emails. One of them is going to have some training videos how to trade the Concierge Trade Alerts. Then I'm going to send you another email that tells you all about how to come into the live training room for the next week. Doesn't cost you anything. You can use our tools, learn our strategy. No credit card required. We have a mentoring program. It's actually a 95-day mentoring program, but the first 5 days are free. After the first 5 days, it stops. And then if you want, you can sign up for the full 90-day course. Okay? But nothing happens automatically on that. All right? Now, on the radio show today, I also revealed something else that's pretty new and pretty exciting, at least for me, because I have a chance to now actually work with a very good friend of mine who has been a part of my life since 2006, and he is a true American hero. He is to me. If you go to cfrn.net/TradeStalker, we've joined forces. If you go to today's radio program, fast forward to about the 30-minute mark, 30 minutes into the show, Mike comes on, talks to you all about what it is that you get, and then you can take a no-risk trial right here. I really want you to go listen to it because it's going to blow your mind what you get. Now, as a partner, you get our weekly trading zones. As a Concierge Trade Alert client, you get our weekly trading zones. when our weekly trading zones match up with his daily levels, oh my goodness, talk about candy in a candy store. It really is pretty unbelievable. So it gets you into stuff like this. All right. So I thank you so much for taking the time to tune in to this video, number 6 in the series. And will there be a number 7? Depends on what's happening tomorrow. I've got 2 back-to-back mentoring sessions, so no promises, but maybe. Now, once you watch this video, if you don't tarry, you can go and take the trial for the Concierge Trade Alerts, like I just showed you, and also the Trade Stalker trial. And what will happen is I'll be able to get that information out to you tonight. Okay? All right. Peace out. See you tomorrow morning at the bell.